here at the Phakisa Freeway for round 6 of the Super Series. Welcome to Bridgestone Production Cars. Presented to you by Jaguar. So on the show, we're going to be talking about the Bridgestone Production Cars classes A and T from the Phakisa Freeway.
For more information on our series, go to www.spcc.co.za or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
In Class A, Audi have a healthy lead with Michael Stephen on top by quite a margin. BMW and Subaru have some work to do. In Class T, Mini has taken the lead with Gavin Cronier on top, but Graham Nathan wants his lead back that he held in the early part of the season.
It's been 7 weeks since the teams were last out on the circuit in anger, and judging by practice times leading up to round 6, all of them seem to have put the winter break to good use. Fresh from a commanding performance in round 5 of the Top Gear Festival in the Durban Street Race, Team Engine Extreme's Audi driver Michael Stephen comes in round 6, leading the championship on 154 points. 6 race wins and 46-point gap over second place. But can Michael do what no other production car driver has done, win 3 championships back-to-back?
Now running second place in points at the Phakisa round, Etienne van der Linde, the winner from Swartkops, coming into 2013 with some consistent form, the fastest now of the BMWs, and looking to back it up with more wins on the season.
Melville Priest, Team Mueller Sports Medicine Audi S4 comes into round 6 third in the championship on 107 points, 1 point behind second place. And he's in this position simply because of consistency. Although yet to have a race win, he's been racking up the points in every round so far. A win seems likely.
At Port Elizabeth, the coastal native showed true form and made aggressive moves to get himself to the front and in contention for the wins. The rest of the season, chops his battle with inconsistency and overall drama on the track. He sits in 4th on points.
5th in the championship is the other Team Afrox Pertec BMW driver Johan Ferree, and by his own admission, not where he wants to be with 4 rounds remaining. Gutsy, talented and skillful, but Lady Luck seems to be dating some other driver. But it's Phakisa, and round here, they're literally stealth bombers.
At this point of the season, the rookie of Class A will be assessing the first half of the season and focusing on the positives and trying to forget about the negatives. 2013 was always to be a learning year for this rising star. In the Class T's, Cronier and the Mini have been a match made in heaven. With 6 wins in the championship so far, his closest rivals are on the back foot as we start the second half of the season.
Second in the championship on 116 points, and the big man will tell you there is still time. It's been tough on Nathan and the team with weight and boost issues, but technical specifications for Class T have been tweaked to create closer racing, thus handing Nathan a fairly level playing field, and with 40 points at stake, game on.
A fast learner and a furious competitor, Jacques Joubert has been one of the young guns coming good in 2013. His 3rd place in points is testament to his reliability as a driver who can deliver at every round.
Reading champion Phakisa is lying fourth coming into round 6 on 78 points. It was always going to be a challenge for Ford Racing with the launch of the new Castrol Ford Focus ST EcoBoost cars, and that means development and seat time. But don't discount Phakisa in spite of the challenges they face. He is technically sublime and very quick.
With a pole position, a win and a fistful of points to his credit, Thompson has been dealt a cruel hand with mechanical gremlins too often this season and finds himself realistically out of the championship, but still has an important role to play as wingman to his teammate Cronje.
Steely-eyed Van Rooyen is 6th. And with a good outing this weekend, it could get him back in the mix fighting for a 3rd in the championship. And if there's one man that needs a break, it's the Rustenburg Rocket with only 2 wins and 1 pole position to his name. It's one of the best looking cars out there, but it's a result business, not a beauty pageant. But points are points, and they'll take it any way they can.
Big story of the weekend was that Ford were back in with a full complement. Dumini returns from injury.
So that's how it stands. The winter break behind us, 4 rounds to come. This is the biggie, Phakisa.
Straight into qualifying then. Etienne van Linde grabs another pole position. Henny Groenewald on form again. Johan Fourie heads up row number 2 with Priest.
Gennaro Bonafide next, Michael Stephen outside the top 3 for the first time. And then in 7th, it's Chop Sapuka in the other Audi.
Picking up qualifying now for the Class T's. Graham Nathan gets to the top of the pile for his first pole of the season alongside Lee Thompson. Gavin Cronje, championship points leader, heads up row number 2 with Jacques Joubert.
Devin Robinson in the Megane, then Gary Phakisa, and then Michael van Rooyen in the Cruise, and Sean Dumini in the other 4.
Back of the pack, Modak. He's picking up the pieces.
Etienne van der Linde, the quickest man in qualifying. Looks like you found your mojo again.
Yes, definitely. Struggled a bit with pace yesterday, but managed to sort it all out. Put in a pretty good lap, I think, this morning to get pole. I didn't expect it, but chuffed with the result.
Happy to be back at Phakisa. I mean, vastly different from where we've just come from, street racing in Durban.
Most definitely. I think Durban suited the four-wheel drive cars. The BMs always go well at Phakisa, and we hope to capitalize on that this weekend.
We're with Graham Nathan right now, fastest man in Class T in qualifying. Delighted to be back in that position, I'm sure.
Absolutely. We've been on the back foot a little bit in the championship, and some incredibly hard work by my team. A lot of driving from myself this morning. I drove it really hard, but I can't do it without the product or the tool. And all credit to my team, Steve Green, Dean Jeffrey, Indy Oil, the sponsors, Volkswagen Motorsport, Chris. Great job, guys.
We're in the second half of the championship right now, and it bodes well for many, wouldn't you say?
Yes, look, Gavin's leading the championship, so we want to try and keep like that, bring the championship home to Mini after a couple of years, 2005 last, if I'm not mistaken. So I need to go and chase Graham, doesn't matter what.
We're standing here with Gavin Cronje leading the championship in Class T, 3rd fastest at the moment. I'm sure you can improve on that.
Yeah, look, I think qualifying is one thing, the race is everything. So, look, Graham's quick this weekend. I've seen it all throughout practice. It's been sandbagging again, so he caught us out. The gloves come off now, so now the racing starts.
Well, I mean, you know, you say sandbagging, but certainly boost restrictions and weight has played a pivotal role in how quick Graham Nathan is at the moment.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've been lumbered with a bit of weight for the weekend, so it's taking its toll. Let's see what happens over the race distance. I'm still fairly confident for the race. He is quick, so we're going to have to tackle him soon on.
So after qualifying, 3 races to come on the day, 2 sprints and 1 feature race. This is the first sprint race, and it's all pushing from the front. Pole is where you really have to convert it into a win now.
Well, absolutely, but this track does suit some fairly good and quick cars, and BMWs is in everybody's minds right now. Practice times have been insane.
Fast and flowing, that's what the circuit is about, and that's why we're seeing the BMWs come through. Ferrari actually jumps up a row and gets around Groenewold. So Groenewold in third place. He has been dropped into turn 1.
Well, this is good news for Team Subaru, and it's nice to see Henny Groenewold in the mix. Of course, our thoughts still go out to the injured driver, Richard Pinner, who is recovering from a nasty shunt in Durban.
So Gennaro Bonafide, he's here, but watch out because Michael Stephen is on his left quarter trying to sweep around the outside. Stephen, like you said, Steve, in qualifying, an uncustomary low position. He's got his work cut out. He really needs to get himself back up there and find a way through. He is battling because Gennaro is blocking lines early in lap 1.
Yeah, from about 5,000 meters in the sky, this part of the track looks like the toe of Italy, but we call it the toe of the boot, and then out through Coca-Cola Corner, and then into that sweep. And this is where some of the exciting moves will take place.
We're going back and picking up on Class T. Pole man Graham Nathan has been dropped off the back wheel. That's Thompson that leads things out as they head for the first time onto the back straight.
Now, this is great camera work because you get a true reflection of what the drivers are having to do with these cars. The right-hander is at pace, Matt.
Yeah, out of the toe of the boot, it's all setting up the drive. Devon Robertson has that drive, but he's got the outside line because at the end of the straight, there's a long sweeping right-hander, and Gavin Cronier and the Mini are holding that. And look how dirty it is on the outside of the track. Robertson almost lost the back end of the Magon and opened the door. The Cruise came through.
One thing that we don't know right now is because a lot of the cars have changed, and what about the tyre wear at this particular track? Any inside information on that, Matt?
To be honest, they're not going to see any kind of tyre wear in these first couple of races, even though they are sprint races. They will be able to last things out. It's at the end of the day when there's a lot of dirt on the track and it becomes extremely abrasive in the long feature race.
Yeah, we're seeing that right now.
There's a problem there. That was one of the cars. It looked like Priest. Priest had a problem coming out of turn 1. Look how dirty it is on the track.
Yeah, Gennaro Bonafide, we're on board with him right now. This youngster wants to actually put down the business right now. He wants more results. Yeah,
fourth place, and he's doing well, but look at the curbs being clipped, and that's something we need to actually highlight right now. It is completely dry and dusty like a desert on the outside of this track. As soon as you clip it, it just turns into powder, and that powder gets dragged onto the track. This track will go away as the day goes on. There's Priest parking it.
Wow. I wonder what that's going to be. Maybe we can actually find out and bring the news to what's happened to Melville Priest.
The big news, Steve, is the fact that the most consistent man on the season has just lost his consistency.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like he's going to get a win under his belt right now, but hopefully they might be able to get that car back later in races 2 and 3. But right now, I'll focus on the two top pair, the BMWs.
Formation flying, Steve, and they're actually working well together, extending away from the Subaru. So great pace in the early lap, but Henny Groenewold cannot keep that pace going, and it looks like he's really starting to fade off the back wheel. You're going to see Gennaro starting to come through because he's battling to get himself up into the points. Back on board with Nathan, and it's Golf Power trying to get one up the inside at the end of the back straight, and that's a line only for the brave. He came off at the last second.
Yeah, did Thompson seem to tap off there as he went through there?
He seemed a little bit cautious going there, so Nathan is back through. Oh, we take it all back. Lee Thompson fighting for this one.
You know, it's commentator's curse, isn't it, really?
Just look, it's trying to cover some lines, but what that's doing is bringing everyone else back into the fold. Cronier, he's there in 4th place, but quite a distant 4th place. He's going to have to pull his finger out and try and get up to these boys. Nathan on the fight. This is the first time we've seen the former champion really come into some good form.
Well, Team Midi did say that they were watching Nathan very carefully and saying that he was very quick. And this is, a little bit of rubbing and some dirt as well. And I'll tell you what, these Golfs are looking pretty good and on the pace at the moment. The Midi's having to fight.
Thompson is on the fight. Remember, sits down there way out of the points. So he really has to try and take as many points away from the two drivers that he is dicing with at the moment. The man that leads, Graham Nathan, sits 2nd in points. The man sitting behind him, which we're on board with, Jacques Joubert, sits 3rd in points.
Well, they've had a bit of good news in terms of some technical specifications, Matt. The Golfs are now running 129 kilograms and then about 0.85 bar boost. So it has helped them create a level playing field, and we can see this right now.
Yeah, we're starting to see a change. The real problem here for the Fords is they are stuck outside the top 4 right now. For Motto, he's very vocal about the fact they are developing this car. They are finding speed every single round. But here, he just couldn't put it together in qualifying. Couldn't get off the line. He sits behind the Chevy Cruze.
Oh, absolutely brilliant.
Offline there, and that just shows how dirty it is when you miss a line. Thompson was caught watching the back wheel hanging out of Graham Nathan's, but Nathan, I've seen him do that a couple of times around the country. It is very hard to bring a front wheel drive back as easy as that, but Jacques Joubert is starting to smell blood in the water.
Nathan.
Looks like he is charging his way through.
Nathan up front and Jacques Joubert following him in unison. Sorry about that, Matt. Getting excited there. And the Mini still. Oh, was that a bit of puff of smoke?
Yeah, that's been tyre lockup. It's been happening the last couple of corners, so Nathan is on the ragged edge, and I think he's just trying to get himself back into the groove, because that was a huge moment coming out of Uccini 2. That's the big sweeper that sets you up onto the back straight.
It's incredible how these cars are put together. It took us almost a year to work out why the hazard lights on Nathan's car were going at some of the races. And
definitely got a problem there, Steve. Sorry to jump in. Every time he's touching the brakes, the back end is wagging, so it's definitely a brake bias situation.
Well, certainly the brakes are the issue, and that was one of the things we were talking about. When the hazard lights go on, that means that the ABS braking was under severe stress. Nathan wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, look at that, smoking again, so there's definitely a situation. The car looks more unsettled than it was in the early lap, so Thompson is going to have a chance now to try and fight back and take back the lead that he held early on. Look at that, Jacques Joubert saying, come, we've got to get out of here, we've got to start moving forwards.
Yeah, no, he seems to be a little bit quicker, and he wants to get by very, very quickly. And will Nathan understand what he's saying? A finger point. Ha.
Yeah, in a tin top, it's not like karting. And once again, a lockup of the back wheel. That was under hard braking. The back end of the car is hanging out. Jacques Joubert is going to have to make a pass on his teammate if he stands any chance of staying out of trouble, because not only Thompson coming now, but the lap times have dropped off enough for Cronier to join the party.
Yeah, they've closed up big time. Of course, it's outstanding, because if you think back, Matt, last year, around about this same time, this was the debut of the Minis, and boy, did they have a great day here at Phakisa.
Yeah, they have a good setup. They've got the handling package. They are rock and roll as far as it goes. And look at the middle of the line there. And we talk about the fact that Nathan is starting to block, but they are still breaking away from the Minis.
Well, just so that our viewers know, there are no team orders in the Mini.
Thompson, he had a wide line entry, and he has blown it out, and there's damage. You can see that a lot of fluid coming out of the front end of the Mini. So Thompson has caused a drastic problem to himself.
Yeah, he's done some major damage here. You can actually see something dragging underneath the car, and then it was a massive spill of fluid, possibly water, we're not quite sure. But in the meantime, when we lose one of the Minis, it's lap 4 of 8, and still the Golfs, and Graham Nathan is still smoking. Yeah,
and Graham Nathan has dropped to second place now, so Jacques Joubert has come on through. That's Cronier, he still sits in 4th place, and the Ford has finally come through in the background on the cruise. But the story is, Thompson has caused massive damage to his car, and that thing is not going to be going much longer.
There you go, there's the problem. That's terminal.
Yeah, you know what? The fluid coming out of the front of the car tells me that it was a radiator problem. It was clear liquid. We know that the fuel comes out the back of the car rather than the front, so that's going to be an overheating issue.
Now, what this does do is it brings Formato into the mix as we focus right now on the 2 BMWs. Oh, Groenewald trying to go around the outside of Ferrari. Van der Linde still large and in charge.
I think this is a situation where we're starting to see a little bit of tyre wear coming off Ferrari's car, because we know that the track is dirty. That does rip the tyres up. We saw a mid-race fade from Groenewald, but he seems to be back into the mix as his tyres are holding good.
So the Afrox Pertic BMWs 1 and 2, and there is the distraught Lee Thompson with the Mini on the side of the barrier.
Gremlins, mechanical gremlins, but that one unfortunately caused by bouncing off and hitting a couple of bumps on the outside of the track and ripping the underneath of the car apart.
So Phakisa, we knew the BMWs were fast, and they're proving it, and of course this is massive points for Van der Linde as he chases Michael Steven.
You know, he came into this round in second place. This is certainly going to help him out. And the story of this race is the story that we are not seeing on screen right now. Michael Steven not able to get any form and bridge the gap and finishing outside the top 4.
Well, I was having a chat to Terry Moss. Let's get the winner's flag right now for the BMW 1 and 2. Groenewald will get a much-needed podium position and some more points in the Subaru. But Terry Moss saying the Audis are still going very well.
Yeah, you just got to control the points. In Class T, Jacques Joubert sitting in 3rd place most of the race, got gifted up to 2nd place when Thompson had the first of his mistakes, and then with a controlling braking problem from his teammate Nathan, slides on through. He's going to take another victory.
So 2 cars out, one in Class T is Lee Thompson in the Mini, and in Class A, Melville Priest. But it's a great win from the Indy Oil GTI Golfs.
And look at the fight back for Formato. Came out of nowhere in the last couple of laps to bag himself up into 3rd place.
So let's get confirmation of those results. Etienne van der Linde, Johan Ferrari, Kenny Groenewald, Gennaro Bonafide in 4th.
Michael Steven, our championship points leader, down in 5th place. Looking at the Class Ts, Jacques Joubert takes his 2nd victory on the season ahead of Nathan. Formato came on strong at the end to put one over on championship points leader Cronier in 4th.
Then Sean Dumedy, then Nias Modek, Devin Robertson, Michael van Rooyen, and Lee Thompson, who did not finish. Well done, Etienne van der Linde. You must be stoked.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that. I think managed to get a good start, and Johan managed to get ahead of Henny, and they had a bit of a tussle, which allowed me to get away, but I couldn't really get away. But I could drive it quite smoothly and, conservatively, which I think helped towards the end. They were starting to look a bit ragged in the mirrors, and the track got quite dirty with guys going off everywhere. So I think we just managed it well in the lead, and now it's onto the reverse grid. Different story, but just hope to post a good time to put us in a good position for the feature race.
The GTIs are absolutely pummeling the rest of the competition at the moment. Jacques Gibert, the young Stiglet, absolutely dominating stuff. Well done.
Thanks a million. Thanks, big thanks to the team, the setup, everything. It's by luck because I was in the right spot, the right time, and then just kept my head and go and just led the pack and just made my gap.
So an amazing race win, but at any time during the race did you feel that the minis were actually going to be coming at you?
Indeed, Lee Thompson was ahead of myself, and they are always strong. They've been strong this whole year. That's why I was a bit wary, but thank goodness for us, it turned out that they slowed down a bit, and that made us pull a gap on them.
Well, let's speak to your partner in crime, who's well known on TV circles and in motor racing, Graham Nathan. Looked like you had it out there, and all of a sudden it surprised even me, because I was focusing on Class A and then Class T, and all of a sudden he was leading. I'm going, how did that happen?
Well, it goes something like this. When you look in the mirror for too long and you get it sideways for too long, then unfortunately the kids come past. He did a great job. Jacques did a superb job. Lee unfortunately had a failure of some nature. That Mini was definitely on the pace. In fact, it was leading for 2 or 3 laps in the beginning. He dragged me to the first corner, and then from there I had to work quite hard. So the cars are very evenly matched at the moment, and we'll have to go out and work a little bit harder, especially on my mirror work.
So here at the Phakisa Freeway, coming out of the first race of the day, the story is the fact that Graham Nathan in Class T is starting to bring back points on Cronje, and the Mini workshop is frantic as they try and repair the damage to Lee Thompson's car to try and get him out in the second race.
Yeah, we have news that it was the alternator pulley damaged in that, and that supplies the electrics to the water pump, and there you go, Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, just overheated it, cooked it, trying to get it back in the mix. Devon Robertson finding some form in the early half of that race, but fading at the end.
Great news for Henny Grunewald, because they've done some development and they have found some speed coming into this round.
Yeah, definitely looks good form. Strange to see our championship points leader Michael Stephen that far on the back foot. Melville Priest having some terminal problems on his car, would not get back out.
Etienne van der Linde is the man of the moment right now.
Taking points back and starting to close that gap dramatically on Michael Stephen. Of course, coming into heat number 2 is all about the inversion. How far will the field flip?
Oh no, 10 cars.
The entire field flipping out.
Wow, we only had 2 of those.
Yes, Stephen, that's putting the Engine Extreme Audis on row 1 and 2, and how slow are they going?
That's incredible. Chops has to go over that start-finish line at 80 kilometers an hour, otherwise penalties are incurred.
Steps on the gas hard. Gennaro goes with him, but they're on the outside of the line, and it's very greasy out there. Stephen is actually up the inside, so he's got a chance, and he does slide his way through and take the lead. But let's see if he's actually got the setup on his car to get the lead done. And look at the chaos happening in the mid-pack of T's.
Who's that? Duminy?
That is Duminy. It was actually Formato. He came across, tagged the front end of his teammate while he was trying to get around the outside of the Mini. So it's all blown wide open in the T's.
Focus right now is on the 2 Audi S4 supercharged cars, and it is Team Engine Extreme. Stephen, Sapuka are now leading this up front, and boy, do they need the points right now.
And here comes Grunewald. It's been a resurgent drive from the Sasol Subarus, and he is right back in the mix there, just forcing Gennaro a little bit wider than he wanted to go.
Notice, as you said earlier on, a lot of stuff, dust on the outside of the track. Looks like rubber from the tyres.
Yeah, as the day goes on, the outside offline is going to be absolutely treacherous, and specifically through this section of the track when you've got everything on the gas through the floorboards, trying to get all the drive onto the back straight. You must thread the needle and stay tight to that curve.
Free van der Linde, the 2 Pertec Afrox BMWs. Oh, they're going wide again, and that was Gennaro Bonafini getting his tyres on the dust.
looked like he got a faceful from the Subaru as well. And there's Chopsapuka just blocking that inside line around the outside. So incredible drive coming out of Henny Groenewald. He is on fire at this round. He's got a good chance to really grab some points out of the points race as far as the championship goes, but he's going to be looking good.
Gavin Cronje, this looks like a problem for the Mini.
He's literally pottering around behind some of the safety cars. So championship points leader in dire straits.
Oh, looks like Gennaro Bonafini is going drifting again.
Yeah, at the end of that lap, Gennaro losing, I think, 3 positions to the guys up the road, so his overall is in jeopardy. And it looks like Michael Steven is trying to break away from the field, but the man on the move is running in second right now. Groenewald is on a charge.
Well, speaking of man on the move, the man who's not on the move right now is that Mini, and I'll focus on Class T, and I don't want to bring it up because last year they had a fairy tale beginning to their season. Now it looks like it's turning into the highway of hell.
Yeah, it is looking very, very dodgy for the guys who are trying to get a championship done and get it wrapped up. It's nowhere near wrapped up. We've still got plenty of racing on the season to come, but bad luck at this round does throw forward to the end of the season.
This and 3 rounds remaining. Is it enough, though? Steven has a commanding lead in the championship so far, but we've seen how good the BMWs are, and here they come.
Yeah, this is the part of the track where they start to really flow and start stretching their legs. So I think we're going to start to see the BMWs charge on through. They've got to get through on Chopsapuka, though. He is a bit of a thorn in the side. He's a great inversion driver, and he's good at blocking the lines.
So, Henny Groenewald.
Again, trying to get the driver around the outside. And that is a very strange pace to try and get the pass done because there is no grip on the outside there.
Well, he's feeling a lot more confident, and they have said they have found a lot more pace. They've been down working at this track, lots of development, and he is bringing pressure on Steven. He's neck and neck with him.
Yeah, that was a small scrub. He did touch the back end of the lead car, and he tried to drive around the outside. So, straight line speed and grunt pure horsepower coming out the corners is definitely in the hands of the Subaru. But here comes the BMW. The pace that they've been able to run is astronomical, not only in qualifying, but in race spec as well. So here comes BM.
And Ferrari in particular bringing a lot of pressure on Henny Groenewald. He's all over the bumper. Ferrari wants past him quickly.
Ferrari, another one of those drivers that gets a bit angry out there in the seat, and he can push on and get aggressive.
So there is some of the damage from that little melee that we saw earlier on, including the 2 Fords and also the Castrol Mini of Cronje.
Yeah, and look what has happened. We see no minis in the field. Thompson is on the pit wall because his car didn't get out, and his teammate, Gavin Cronje, is missing in action. We're looking up the road from Graham Nathan at the Cruise that sits in 3rd place.
Yeah, it's a very pretty car.
It is a pretty car, but as you said in your build-up to the show, it's not a beauty contest. He's got to get out there and get some points in the bag.
Yeah, they must be scratching the heads of the team. You know, he did so well in the OPC Astra last year, and we felt that the new launch of this new Cruise was going to be something special. Well, it has been in spurts.
Yeah, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. The race seems to be settling down at the front. That looked like it was the Mini just circulating on the outside of the track, so everyone blowing past him, and there's confirmation. That's going to be no points for Cronje at this race.
Does that mean both cars are terminal at this stage?
Well, we don't know. That's the thing. We have to see if they can actually get one of the cars out for the endurance race. But right now, no scores in this race for the Minis.
I'm just looking at my notes and papers right now, Matt. And
outside pass, Steve, to jump in there. That is the pass for the lead on the road. Groenewald, once again, the king of the outside line.
Yeah, very special. Very special. Just going back to the notes, I'm saying that they've probably got about 3 hours to work on the Minis. Is that enough time?
Well, we can only postulate at the moment and see if they've got anything in the bag to actually figure that out. But they've got to get it done because Nathan is in a good position here and he's going to be taking back even more points.
Oh, great drifting from Marto. He's a very skillful driver. We haven't mentioned Jacques Chabert, the Stiglet out there at all once, in fact, in this commentary. But there he is.
Yeah, he is running such good pace. He's finding consistent form the whole time. He likes to lead from the front as well. He seems one of these drivers doesn't cave under the pressure. But Formato is piling it on. And again, like we've seen in the Class A's with the Subarus, this seems to be a turnaround event for the Fords.
So, it's Jacques Chabert, Formato, Graham Nathan, still in this mix. Is the podium going to change? I mean, Formato is coming.
Yeah, I mean, they've made light work on the Chevy Cruise, so obviously the race setup on the Chev is not where it needs to be because it's starting to drop off the back wheel. This is now the battle we're picking up for 2nd place. Graham Nathan, if he could get through on Gary Formato, it will be a Cinderella so far on the day, because he will be right there in the top steps of the box and trying to get as many points back. But he's doing a very clever thing here. He definitely could have gone for a move there, and I think if the championship was on the line a few rounds later, he would have gone for it, but he's trying to ride as clean as he can. Just a nice setup there, sweeps around, gets the job done cleanly.
Yeah, it looks like Formato just went a little bit wide there, and Nathan came through and made his presence felt very strongly indeed. And Formato, now you've got to hand it to both these drivers. They're driving a very clean and hard race both together.
Yeah, they stayed nice and solid, didn't tag each other, because they know at this point of the season, you're going to have the big finger pointed at you if you knock someone off right now.
5 of 8, and we're almost down, and there they are running in formation again. It's Jacques Joubert and Graham Nathan. Now Jacques won the first race. Now will Nathan want a bit of the action too?
Well, Nathan is going to need it. There we go, nice line open there, and that was a good dive. So Nathan has definitely sorted out the brake problems that he had in the first heat. Those were the corners where he was locking it up and getting all kinds of out of shape. Slides his way through, hits the front for the first time.
Yeah, when Nathan pulls a move like that, what do you say, Uncle?
You say congratulations, because normally it's something to be in awe of. But 1 and 2, and they are sitting 2 and 3 in championship points, and they may even be climbing a little bit higher, closing things down on the Mini.
Just waiting till we get some more action coming through from Class A, and there it is right now, 7 of 8. Stephen is holding on, Ferree is coming, and there's Van der Linde. He's made a point up to 3rd now.
Yeah, Van der Linde coming on strong. Chopsapuka has done a great job. They've definitely found a little bit extra in the Engine Extreme Audis this time around. But look at Stephen blocking, trying to cover that line inside. You aren't going to hold off Ferree when he wants to come through. He will make it happen. And the BMW slides on by. And we've got to just start thinking about, if Van der Linde can get on through, he's also going to be closing things down in the championship on Stephen, who is on the back wheel of in this race.
Yeah, we've seen two great moves. One from Van der Linde, one from Ferree, in fact 3, and a great move from Henny Groenewald in this race so far.
Look at Ferree. He is playing the team game here, rock solid, slowing the pace down, getting in front of Michael Stephen, blocking the line, and I think it's only a matter of time before Van der Linde charges through.
Well, the one thing that does puzzle me, we've seen Michael Stephen on the front row for the start of this race, and that's a race he has not been able to control because the BMWs are powerful.
Yeah, the pace is unreal. Look at the Subaru. That's got to be almost 5 seconds out the front door. He is get gone.
Yeah, it's about time too. They've been scratching their heads. They've also had a bit of problems with those cars in the past. New bodywork, new livery. It should be absolutely fantastic for Henny.
And he's going to be giving that race to his teammate as well. He's definitely going to be awarding all of the kudos to his teammate and the team that have done stellar work to find the pace.
Yeah, Mr. Nice Guy, Richard Pinnard.
Yeah, Henny Groenewald then. It's been a long time since he's seen a flag, but here, race 2 at the Phakisa Freeway. Look how dirty it is offline. Takes the flag. BMWs come charging through, and it's a good fight back for Ferree to see him get that aggressive driving, use it, and get through and take the 2nd place.
Yeah, good job by Stephen, but here come the race leaders at the moment. Another Golf 1 and 2. It's Nathan leading out. 1 win so far for Joubert, 1 for Nathan. Man, they're having a great weekend so far.
Yeah, Nathan came through nice and clean. He was down there way at the back of the pack because of the problems in turn number 1. Slowly catching Monkey. He got his way through and takes an emphatic victory. And Jacques Joubert, you can see lights ablaze behind him. He's pumped for his team boss.
Yeah, well done to the organisers bringing in some modifications to the specification. Well, let's get the results. Confirmation of race number 2 results. Class A, Henny Groenewald, Johan Ferree, Michael Stephen in 3rd, Eddie and Van der Linde in 4th.
Nora did well to hold on to that 5th place. And in the Class D's, formation flying once again. Nathan ahead of Joubert. For Motto, a solid 3rd once again. Van Rooyen holds 4th.
Very well-driven race from Henny Groenewald. Although a inverted grip, but you made full advantage of it. And once you got in front, well, in fact, you were in front, you never looked back.
Yes, the start was pretty interesting. I think it was like 20 k's an hour. It's the weirdest start I've ever done. And from there on, I think we just placed right at the right points to actually get to the front past Gennaro in the beginning, and one of the BMs. I got both of them together through turn 2, just with them being out of place. And thereafter, we got past the other 2 Audis, and from there on, I had to look after the car. But I have to say a big thank you to the guys that have been supportive this year. We've had a tough season in production car racing, but Cecil, their support has been absolutely amazing. The guys that have been helping us change and get back to the front, Marco from Phoenix Performance and Jared, and then obviously the guys within our team, they've been doing a stunning job, and we've got some outside help from an old clever, intelligent man by the name of William Haddad. So we've been having some help to get us to the front, and I'm very grateful.
The Stiglet did you a bit of a favour. The championship almost important for the GTIs, and as a team, I think you made the right decision.
Well, in his words, there's no I in team, so yes, thank you very much. He did a great job. He realised that it wouldn't have helped or benefited anybody to scrap with me. We went through and then tried to drive a bit of a gap to Gary. He was doing a great job with the Ford, unbelievable job. He was hanging in there beautifully. It's great to have him back in the mix. I don't know what happened to Gavin. I see his car ended up, but it did look like he did a bit of grass tracking or a bit of a do or dive at the bottom here. But yeah, a great turnout or a great result for the Indy Oil team. The Sintra Golf just doing the work. VW product once again. What can I say? Hang in there with the best.
We're at Phakisa, and I'm standing here with Gary Formato. 2 podium finishes, not bad for the Fords, and a good effort out there from you, Gary.
No, I think so. I mean, the car's improved a lot from Durban. We had that massive brake issue there, and we sorted that out, and the car was good. So I think the wheel alignment for the second heat got a bit banged up at the first corner here. So the car wasn't handling as well as it was the first heat. But listen, it was a good day. I think we brought it home twice now. So we're getting some finishes, but yeah, just a bit crazy because, we've shown people that you can race properly without having to go mad, and you get one crazy person that wants to win on the first lap and messes up for everybody. So, for somebody of that kind of quality of a driver, it's pretty stupid.
It's all to play for now in the third race of the day, the feature race, coming up after the break in Bridgestone production cars. This action presented to you by Jaguar. Presented to you by Jaguar.
So in the gold mining town of Volcom, it's been outstanding racing so far in Class A and Class T. All the big manufacturers are here, back from our winter break match, and this is what it means to the drivers: points.
I didn't think when we got out of bed this morning that the drama would unfold quite as hard as it has. It's been a turnaround for a couple of the manufacturers. Subaru starting to come good, as well as Ford getting the development really dialed in and starting to be a contender. But the story is now becoming one of points on the paper.
Yeah, and BMW certainly today are leading that charge. We had an inkling of it yesterday in practice. Also in Class T, Devin Robertson in the Megane, third quickest in his final session. So there could be something to come from him too.
The big story in Class T, though, is Graham Nathan taking back bucket loads of points on our championship points leader coming into this round, Cronier. Cronier is in trouble.
Who saw this upset coming? So far, not good for the minis, as you said. Thumbs up from Henny Grunewald. A race win under his belt. Great for Subaru. Man, look at that beautiful F-Type Jaguar, the pace car brought to them here by Jaguar.
Good to see the motor industry getting involved and some new blood out on track.
So here we go, and grid positions are determined on the fastest lap of race number 2. It's going to be interesting, this one, man. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaking sight for the team and for our racing competitors out there. No minis lining up, no points in this double-point feature race.
So Van der Linde gets the jump on Henny Grunewald, and there's the 2 BMWs again, flying formation. Looks like Grunewald's just gone on the inside there. He will be the sandwich.
Yeah, he just squeezes himself back into position, though, and look how much debris, dust, and marbles are offline. This time of day, the track is completely filthy.
Well, it's been a tough measure for all the drivers so far. 2 sprint races behind us. Rather late time for this third and final race, and we always know the sun goes down and also plays a role.
Yeah, the fastest laps from race 2, then setting up a very nice, comfortable buffer for the BMWs and Subarus out front. It is really going to be up to Michael Stephen to dig as deep as he's ever dug to try and get himself up there and stand a chance of any podiums.
Well, we've always asked Michael, are you ever nervous about the championship? And he's going, no, I take it one race at a time. But this is not going, this day, in fact, is not going his way.
Yeah, for the team, it's going to be a very uncomfortable drive back to Port Elizabeth. A lot of head scratching, and there's going to be plenty of development coming into the next round at Swartkops.
bumped into a couple of fans and they said, what happens when the light goes down and it becomes dark? Do the cars have headlights? And we have to say, yes, they do, because they're homologated in terms of being production cars. You can actually go into a showroom floor and buy one of these cars.
Headlights, windscreen wipers. Gotta have them, because every now and again, we go racing in some crazy conditions.
There's the cruise in picture. It was from Michael van Rooyen. This is the other Ford. And I'll tell you, the GTIs look invincible today. I'm sorry, I've just got to say it.
Oh, and as you said, you gave it the old curse there, because that was the Golf putting a wheel onto the slippery stuff on the outside of the circuit. That's what I was talking about. He just went a little bit too far off the edge, and Formato goes sliding through.
Was that Nathan?
I think it was Nathan. Nathan has just taken a bit of a risk there. It was the 21 car, and probably the only driver who actually can bring a car like that back online. You can just see in the cockpit, he's saying, come with me. I've still got the pace. We can still go get him.
Well, I certainly concur with that. He's just an amazing driver. And, of course, that problem, getting a little bit squirrely. You mentioned it in the first race. He was having problems.
I think this time it wasn't a problem on the car. He was just maybe 6 inches offline, and on the other side of the curb where the camber goes away, that's where the car wagged.
Yeah, a lot of our viewers probably won't understand that 6 inches means a lot in racing.
Steve, today I think 3 inches means a lot in racing, because the line has become extremely thin. You are literally threading the needle on a knife edge out there, especially in this race.
So, Kenny Grunewald looking good in the Subaru. Race win to his name already in this series, and those cars, the three of them. Now this, is the Mini going to come back? Is it going to grab some points?
Well, if they can get it out there, if it can complete some of the race and get some of the points finished, there's Lee Thompson walking away. So we know it's Gavin Tronier going out there, and this is a desperation move on the part of Mini. We just hope that they haven't rushed the build too hard and it can at least complete this race.
4 of 11, that means he's going to be 3 laps down. So I'll tell you what, a safety car would be good right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to win the race. It's all about conserving and just trying to get as many points in the bag. And sometimes, we've seen it back in the past, this is how you can win a championship.
Wow, Ferrari. Man, he's a great driver.
Yeah, Ferrari is absolutely flying. Henny Grunewald has had a problem in the last couple of laps, definitely going offline, because he has all of a sudden been bested by not 1 but 2 of the BMs.
Well, these Bridgestone Potenza tyres really make these cars stick, and they're under strain right now because the cars are being driven to the limit.
Oh, look at that. There is some smoke. I don't know if that's tyre wear or if that's an engine situation, but there is a problem on the Subaru.
Is that back right rubbing against the tyre? Because if it is, then there's your smoke.
Look at that, under strain there. Definitely not back right. It's coming from the front of the car, and it's coming under power. So there is something starting to cry under the bonnet, and it's not surprising. They've asked a lot of that car, and that's it. That's all she's got.
Lots of stress and loads. Right now we're on board with Gennaro Bonafide. Who did he just blitz?
That was Henny Grunewald. That was it, coming out of the Coke bottle corner. He tried to get on the gas, the front end, and the engine said no more. And we are going to see the demise of the Subaru, who has been a revelation. The car and the driver have come back from out in the meadows. And unfortunately, at the feature race, that's it. She's going to be parked.
Yeah, motor racing, it is such a cruel, cruel game, Matt.
Coming onto the side of the track then, that is a lot of fluid coming out of the car. He comes offline, very gentlemanly driving, trying to stay out of the way, and I think we're going to see that thing parked in the pits. 1 and 2 is BMW for now. Gennaro Bonafide, great try for him so far. Keeps himself ahead of our championship points leader, Michael Stephen. And he'll be tagging a couple of extra points as well. The rookie to Class A for this season, starting to come good.
Yeah. So Van der Linde, the silent assassin in the bombers, the stealth bombers, 1 and 2. Ferrari's chasing him down. This is turning out to be a fantastic day for ADF Motorsport, and really, they deserve it because they've been on pace.
Just this Michael Stevens situation has got me scratching my head here, Steve. I cannot figure out what is going on as we see the Subaru come in, but Michael Stephen not even able to pass Gennaro Bonafide, and that's a very rare situation so far this season.
Also, a very, very bad day for the Minis, and the leading championship in the series is Gavin Cronier, and this is going to hurt him big time because the GTIs are being the dominant force today in Class T.
Yeah, GTIs cruising around, and to be honest, the Mini guys will be waving a flag for Ford right now because they need Ford to stay where they are in the form of Gary Formato leading on track and stealing that win extra point away from Nathan.
Jack Joubert, the young Stiglet, right now in camera, and he has been driving the socks off that GTR. I'll tell you what, he's had a really good grounding into this team, and he's learned the ropes from the master, Graham Nathan, and why wouldn't he be good?
Yeah, they tend to complement each other out there on the track as well. They work well, they can drive forward and cut through the air quite nicely.
3/4 gone, 7 of 11 in race 3 are theme points, and by the way, it counts double the points, and still Bollywood hanging off for Marto.
Yeah, I'm always famous for saying that one, aren't I? This is the big race. If you're going to win a race, you want to win the third race of the day, and Jacques Joubert isn't going to do that, because in the background you can see his car has blown up spectacularly.
I don't know how you saw that. You're incredible.
I've got my glasses on, Steve. I'm all about looking back, and unfortunately we are looking forward right now, but the drama is unfolding on the back straight as Jacques Joubert's car has let go.
Nathan charging for Marto, holding on. Where have we heard that before?
Yeah, this is great to see these guys. They love going at it. They showed that they can race clean together in the second heat. And this is the situation for Jacques Joubert, the Stiglet, the man that came into this round.
Oh, fire! We got fire!
Fire, and that's brought out a red flag. Strange situation because he is way offline and in a safe zone. But the story is he will not be finishing this race, and a red flag is going to bring us back to a start line situation.
Certainly the clerk of the course would make that decision on how dangerous this is going to be, and there you can see the Jaguars lining up and the car slowing down right now. 7 of 11 gone. Jacques Joubert's car on fire. He got in there very quickly with the onboard fire extinguisher, and then it was just like the marshals were gunning for it.
Yeah, so the situation is a restart, a short sprint race this time around, and it's brought everyone back into the mix, so it's second chances all over the place.
Well, yes, and we thought, because of this, Gavin Cronier comes up to the field, but irrespective of the pace car and a red flag, he still finds himself 3 laps down.
Oh yeah, you can't just buy laps with a pace car. You're definitely just going to be circulating on the back wheel with the bunch, but 3 laps adrift.
You can see the lights gone down, the headlights blazing. The other interesting thing is when it gets a little darker, because of the pressure on the brakes, you'll see those discs start to glow here in a Welcome Winter.
Oh, look at Gary Famato coming and just hassling the back end of the Class A's as they come up. That's Chopsapuka. He got forced wide as they went a bit crazy, and there's going to be a Ford leading an Audi. If only it was for points, eh?
Yeah, if only. But what do we do about this situation right now? Van der Linde is the one that's closest to Steven in the championship. Faris leading this out at the moment. It counts 20 points. Does he want it more than Van der Linde, or is Van der Linde going to come back at him?
You know what, at this stage of the game, and with everything that has happened on the day here at round number 6, team orders are going to come into play. They have to.
Yeah, I agree with you. They must do. It would be insane not to. I mean, Faris is 5th in the championship. Etienne is 2nd in the championship. We've got about a 46-point gap. Oh, it's close.
As long as the BMWs can break away and stay away, then they can control their own race. In the Class T's, Famato, you know what? He hadn't gapped Nathan, so they are back to as they were come the red flag. Nathan all over the back end of the fort, and Nathan is going to want to get through and get ahead of that fort.
No doubt.
He has to do that this time around.
No doubt, no doubt. So the story of the day, the minis.
Yeah, the minis, the demise of the minis. An incredible championship so far. Lee Thompson has borne the brunt of all the mechanicals in the team, and then all of a sudden at this round, where it counts, Cronier joined that party as well.
Penultimate lap, and who's still leading out here for the BMWs? Michael Steven.
Check the blocking going on here. And you're allowed to. You can go and cover that line as long as you don't twitch back and take out your competitor. Gennaro Bonafide covering the line. Michael Steven, desperate to get through, gets forced out to the grass. Again, this is just doesn't even look like Michael Steven driving that car at the moment.
You see all the rocks on the side of the road. I know it's rubber, but man, I mean, to see a close-up like that, there's a lot out there.
If you go onto it, they become ice. You just go drifting out. You cannot get any kind of grip out there. And Michael Steven, I feel, is having some issues out there.
A lot of dirty air, a lot of dust. What puzzles me is the fact that all of these teams have data from previous races. What's gone on with the Audi of Michael Steven?
I think in particular in this race, as we watch the Class T's come through, we are losing a lot of track temperature. Not only has the light gone, but the radiant heat from the sun has gone. And the tarmac is freezing. You were talking about team orders. Let's explain what is actually happening out there on the track. because of the restart, there are essentially 2 separate races happening, and they're going to be adding up the times. So the BMWs have to stretch away and as far away off the front as they can to stand a chance of taking the overalls.
All right, so it's just not what we're seeing right now. There's more to it than meets the eye.
Well, realistically, there is and there isn't at the same time, because the BMWs are that far ahead come flag time, and that was going to be the situation anyway. So it's as it was. The BMWs have come through, and it's great to see Fourie finally get the flag.
Yeah, and get the acknowledgement that he so rightly deserves as well. And here's a nice little battle, isn't it? It's Formato. Nathan once again. Fantastic driving. Looks like Formato's going to outdo him. Well done. Gary Formato in the Ford.
Nathan slides across the line in second place, comfortable in the knowledge that the Mini is 3 laps down and therefore way out of the points.
Let's get confirmation of race 3 results. Etienne van der Linde gets the points. Johan Fourie, Gennaro Bonafide, and Michael Stephen in the Audi, 4th.
In the Class T's, Formato finishes off a great day for himself and Ford, 2 thirds, and then a first in the feature race. Graham Nathan in second, Duminy in third, Modak and Robertson round out the top 5.
And Gavin Cronje in 6th. Took him a while to get the Mini in, but 3 laps down. Jack Joubert and then Michael van Rooyen. A red flag and a restart and overcome the rest of the field and get an overall win for the day. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm very happy. Yesterday went very well today again, and then this morning we had some issues in qualifying, so I was very disappointed because I thought we could really be up fighting for the front the whole day. So, yeah, it was just difficult, and then we at least finished 2 seconds with the reverse kit as well. And in this one, yeah, my teammate managed to have pole, and then I was catching him a little bit, but it was very close. There was nothing in it, and I was pushing really hard. I could see Etienne was pushing as well. So, and then the red flag came out. Yeah, then I thought it was all over. It's 5 laps to go, so not going to be a lot to do. And then for some reason he kept the start very slow. So I was down in second and just asked him, and he was in third. So once the lights went out or once Etienne started to go, I just managed to get the run on him. So I think it's very close to the line. We're neck and neck. I just hope I'm not in front, but I don't think so. So yeah, it's very close, and I managed to have the inside and then just put my head down and try to keep it on the black stuff and bring it home. But at first 2 laps was a bit ragged on the cold tires. I think Etienne must have thought I'm going to throw it off at any moment. But yeah, we managed to keep it, and I'm very happy to have a win for a change after all the bad luck. But yeah, thanks to the team, great car, and yeah, the whole team this whole weekend was on it, and we all did well. So I'm very happy for us and the team.
It was hard work out there, Gary.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, but I've got to say, the race wouldn't have been possible if Graham hadn't raced like he did. I mean, I think he had probably 20 opportunities to give me a nudge and put me offline, and he never did that once. So, you know, as I said earlier on today, you know, when you've got competitors that want to race properly, you can. And I think it was a great race today. It's been a tough year for us. We've struggled with the new car. We've got it going a lot better. And, you know, today's one of those days. I mean, I don't really care about the points, but I'd rather have binned it than finish second today. But it was good.
More thankful that the sponsors are going to be pleased with your performance.
Well, you know what, it's a new car, and you know, we were under pressure to put the new car on the circuit, and you know, we wanted to deliver, so it took a bit longer than expected, but you know, we're up there. Car's good, team did a good job in testing last week. You know, we found some pace, so we've worked hard, so this one's quite sweet.
As we've seen with the racing, the championship points have changed. Etienne van der Linde closing things down on Michael Stephen, although there is still a big points buffer, and Fourie gets back third.
In Class D for the first time this season, it's neck and neck. Graham Nathan and Gavin Cronje, Jack Joubert, Gary Formato, Michael van Rooyen, and Devin Robertson. It's going to be awesome.
Going forward for the rest of the season, the manufacturer points look like this. Audi, top of the pile. Volkswagen, because each of them have taken more wins in their respective categories to beat out the BMs.
Prize giving, Gennaro Bonafide, Etienne van der Linde for the Afrox Pertic BMW. And then overall for the day, Johan Fourie.
Started the season so well at the halfway marker. Fourie back on top, but he's quite a long way back in points.
Class T, outstanding. What a great result for the injury-stricken Sean Duminy.
Yeah, back. His Achilles tendon all in the bag. Formato, great driving on the day to get second place. And Graham Nathan retakes his championship lead at this round with an overall win.
Winners of race 1 and 3, Etienne van der Linde. Winner of race 2, Henny Groenewold.
Class T has been a combination of the Fords and the GTIs. Race 1 going to Jacques Joubert, his teammate Graham Nathan winning race 2, and the final race of the day goes to Formato.
For more information on our series, go to www.spcc.co.za or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
So huge drama rounding out the day. Van der Linde starting to close things down in the championship for the Class A's. Michael Stephen for the first time showing a chink in his armour. And in the Class T's, a complete turnaround of events. The Minis suffering mechanical problems, and Graham Nathan gets up to share the points lead in the Class T's. This is Bridgestone Production Cars. This is world-class racing.